The pain was excruciating, and you even realize pain in places you didn't know you had in your body. Um, and it's a very dark place. I don't know. So my name is Trish Barasa. Most of my friends prefer to call me Trish. Um, okay, so I wear many hats. I'm a mom. It's cliche.
Uh-huh.
But I think for this purpose, I'm a chronic condition warrior, and I'm also a public policy expert. In terms of careers, I have been on light duties, if I am to put it the Kenyan way, although I mostly engage on consultancies with government and development partners, and sometimes even the private sector. Okay, so in terms of my academic background, I recently, okay, not very recently, as you age, the years seem to get crammed up. About 4 years ago, I did my master's in public policy and management at Strathmore University.
Wow.
And I have since been pushing myself to pursue my PhD. I got an opportunity in medical sociology, which I am currently awaiting to see if my application will be successful, to study the effects of endometriosis as a chronic condition in the workplace. Okay, so I have journeyed with chronic conditions for 30 years, about 3 decades. And one thing I can say is illness, and especially chronic illness, is a very lonely affair. At most, people can associate and feel for you, but you bear the brunt fully, whether it's pain or sitting up in the night, suffering from insomnia, the anxiety of not knowing the progression of the disease. And it's only until recently that I really got to appreciate that community makes such a huge difference. And that connection, and just realizing that you're not alone because you have been afforded a community that is able to see you even with your chronic condition, becomes like a lifeline for you as you navigate the complexities of chronic conditions. The process of getting a diagnosis for a condition is the usual. Mostly in medicine, it's elimination. And a lot of times, when the body malfunctions, something will go wrong. There'll be pain. It triggers something. And if you fractured this hand, you would naturally realize that you can't use the hand. So
True.
when the body malfunctions, you will find yourself not going on everything naturally or normally. And that is how most of us end up in hospitals to seek support. The process of going to hospital, again, is just an elimination process, which you eventually, sometimes you get a misdiagnosis. You will go to hospital with malaria, you will be treated for typhoid, and after a week you'll be back there with malaria again, and you finally get a malaria treatment. So there are diagnostic tests that are carried out. There's imagery where possible, there will be scans. And for me, whether it was the lupus, which I had since I was a young kid, or the endometriosis, or even hypertension and adenomyosis and coccydynia, pain in the tailbone where I couldn't even sit, and eventually a surgery to remove the fractured coccyx, the tailbone. All this has been through diagnostic processes, x-rays, blood tests, the works. I was fortunate to start working very early in life. And so I had insurance, and I was working for a blue chip company in Kenya. I don't want to give the identity at this point. So when you would get sick, you could easily get access to healthcare, which is not the case with many people.
Yeah.
And I have, up until this point in my 40s, come to experience the best and worst of both worlds, in that I have been sick and unemployed, and I've also been sick and employed. When you're sick and employed and you have access to insurance, things are a little bit easier. You will suffer the pain and everything. Sickness is sickness, but you will get treatment. When you're sick and unemployed, it's a different story. I have experienced both sides of the coin, and I would say again, I've been fortunate to have been surrounded by community, and when the financial strain of health was bearing me down, they lifted me up. My friends, my family, my neighbors were there for me. And in as much as illness is a lonely affair that you feel in your body, they were there for me. They stood with me, they sat with me, they talked to me, and they cried with me and hugged me. It almost takes me to about 6 or 7 months ago, just before a major surgery I had last year. The pain was excruciating, and you even realize pain in places you didn't know you had in your body. And it's a very dark place. I don't know. Church guys came, prayed with me, and at some point I didn't know if I could pull through anymore. I would sit down, I would journal, and there are times I honestly lived on because of my children, not because I wanted to, because the pain was too much. The anxiety, I was not sleeping, I was depending on pain medications. They were coming with side effects, and all this, I wouldn't even wish it on my worst enemy. So this can push you, and I know there are many people out there who journey with chronic conditions who have ideated suicide. And if not for the fact that you're surrounded with people and you're able to connect and even share some of these thoughts, because for me, I just put it out there. I would talk about it. I would say, I can't do this anymore. And I had people, and I'm so grateful for the vote of confidence, people who had faith in me, and they told me, Trish, you've done this before, and even this you can do. They say the biggest smiles hide the most pain. It's very true.
Yeah.
But I would say, and this I can say over and over again, having a community is very important. It proffers you some benefits, and it also requires some responsibility on your part, because you check on each other. And I actually maybe just to share, I had dinner at my neighbor's last night, and this is not a one-off event. My neighbors are always at my place, and I am at their place, and this is very normal. And this is what I call community. And the other day I had a lot of wheat flour, and I split some of it and took to my neighbors. So we hold each other, we take care of each other, we look after each other. So it's not just that it's a one-way traffic. No, connection is a two-way traffic. And that connection and that community will see you through very dark moments, especially when you're suffering or when you're journeying with chronic conditions. Well, I wouldn't say for sure that an individual's personality contributes to their ability to connect to a community, but maybe there is some truth in that, because we are told that there are personalities that are extroverts and introverts. But whichever way anyone chooses to go about it, I would just say, just be out there with people, and you don't have to talk, you don't have to say much, but you be surrounded by people, and in as much as you can, allow people into your life and also get into people's lives. So that you can go spreading gossip, but so that you can just be a genuine human being that cares. Okay, my happiest moments have been mostly when I have greatly achieved in my academics, sorry. My dad would come and receive gifts because I had led in this and the other subject. The teachers would praise me, and I would be required to go and recite a poem because the DCE has visited or represent the school in a debate club. Those were really good times. And also when I fell in love for the first time, that was really nice. And went to watch Pearl Harbor movie. Yeah, those, and having time with my girlfriends and just talking about everything and anything, those have also been really, really good times, even right now. You feel, in your darkest moment, you feel helpless, and you feel the world caving in, and you feel like you are not able to do it and you have no way out. Dark moments push you into a place where you lose control, and everything else is determining your next moment, and it is nothing to do with you anymore. If it's the pain that's controlling you, and there's nothing you can do about it. If it's addiction, it's the addiction that's taken over, and there's nothing you can do about it. Establishing this podcast is purely driven by the need for a community that inspires hope, a community that educates, a community that lets each and everyone out there know that they are not alone, a community that makes you know that I can come here and share my lived experience, or listen to somebody else's experience and learn something from it. A community that debunks myths and misconceptions, and a community that lets the world know that none of us, no matter our walk of life, is immune to the imperils of life.